This is so much comfier than any handheld I've ever held in my life. It's the comfiest
Really?
handheld. Yeah, absolutely. Like I think the DualSense controllers is the comfiest controller I've ever held. What do you think? What's your take on that take?
It's not bad. I've heard people really not think it's comfortable. I think it's totally fine. But that's what this thing is, right? Is it's like essentially split in half with a screen in the middle, a DualSense 5 or DualShock 5 or whatever it is.
And the first time I saw it, I remember they announced it at some state of play or something like a year ago, I want to say. And it didn't look like this, I remember. I remember thinking that is a JPEG of a DualSense cut in half with a screen edited in. It didn't look like a real product. It looked like an edit on Reddit or something as a joke.
Totally. So many fake pretend leaks of like that people Photoshop together. It looks exactly like that.
And I was like, oh, that looks super weird. But looking at it in person, it looks more stylized than when I glanced at it as a JPEG energy level thing. Like it has the screen in the middle, and then the controllers truly look like they're split in half, but they have like this nice little arched area in between the screen and stuff, and that's where they keep some of the buttons. That looks kind of nice. And then the back of it, instead of it just being a screen, they actually extend the DualSense all the way across the back of it. I don't think that helps with the feel of it. It just kind of looks nice. Like it looks nicer than just like it cutting here. And yeah, it's extremely light is the first thing I noticed. Like when I took it out of the box, I picked it up and I was like, oh yeah, like this, I can see like being completely on my back like this and my arms not getting tired energy. Whereas when I use I only view things on like, can I lay down? And is this still good? But like when I use my Steam Deck, I'll be playing like this. Audio listeners, I'm leaning back very far, and I hold it up like this, and this is how I want to play a game in bed. And my arms get so tired after 10 minutes, and then I have to kind of crunch in and squint down, and it's not as nice until my arms feel good, and then I go back to like this until my arms hurt again. It's just a cycle. But
I'm with you. With
this, I can go like this for hours. It's lighter and it's comfier. And
you never have to get out of bed again.
No,
I'm curious on Steam Deck form factor. Is it wider? It looks wider. Is it like the same?
Let me grab my Steam Deck. It's just right outside. One sec.
Okay, nice.
I think it is wider. I think you're right.
Thank you. I am so Steam Deck pilled. That's like a phenomenal way to play games. And I have so many things set aside now, put in a folder of like, I want to play this on my Steam Deck someday, because it's just, there's something about handheld gaming that I want different types of games. I seek out different types of games to play in bed or on a plane, whatever. And right now that's like Xbox 360 games, which I haven't had the privilege of having access to on the go in my whole life. And that's exciting.
So looks like they're pretty similar in length. Pretty same vibes.
Yeah. That's like exactly the same, except maybe the little further, the buttons are maybe a little further. Maybe that's not even true.
The screen is bigger on the PlayStation Portal. And instead of it being built into the device like the Steam Deck, where this thing is just like thick and the screen's in here, I do like that the screen, they don't have extra stuff where they don't need it. Like, I don't know. They could.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot less. It takes a lot less power to run that thing, which is why the battery life's better too, right? The battery life is.
Oh yeah, like I can play Yakuza for like an hour on this, and then it gets close to dying. Whereas I was playing Spider-Man on this for a few hours, and it was lasting. It wasn't bad. Nice. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for the feel. And like another thing, like the Steam Deck has little nubs that come out, but this is there's space for you to put your fingers, like you're just holding a controller. You know, it just feels more like I'm holding a DualSense controller and my arms are just further apart. I don't know how else to put it.
It's like a Wiimote and nunchuck or Switch Joy-Cons or something.
Yeah. That is the exact distance I used to hold my Wiimote and nunchuck, now that you bring it up. So maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Which, speaking of laying back gaming, nothing better than having the Wiimote and nunchuck behind your head for no reason. Lean back on the couch.
Until you're playing something like Twilight Princess and you have to like...
hit your own self in the head.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of how it actually plays, so if people don't know how it works, it's not its own separate system. It connects to your PS5, and then it remote plays my PS5 to this. So when I press play, it actually turns on my PS5 and boots up whatever game I was just playing. So I was playing Spider-Man, and then it just like, there's Miles falling. It just plays Spider-Man, and immediately where I left off on my PS5. It looks good. I think it'll largely depend on your internet, though, which is also the sucky thing. Like,
For sure.
if you don't have great internet, I don't know if you'll want this because it so largely depends on how quickly it can remote play from your PS5 to this. Playing single player games, I don't notice any kind of latency or anything. I started playing Overwatch on it to test multiplayer games. It was not running good. And I was 5 feet from my PlayStation. So I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, it was just the resolution was like below 720. It looked like it started getting really blurry. It wasn't like the frame rate wasn't lagging. It just looked cruddy. It looked almost like I was watching a stream of somebody playing Overwatch, then playing Overwatch on it. So yeah, so
streaming's so hit or miss. I do Parsec in my house a lot. My MacBook is kind of my PlayStation portal. I do a MacBook with my Xbox Elite controller Bluetooth connected to it, and it works really, really well 95% of the time. But it's just I have really great, reliable internet, as reliable as I've ever had in my life, and it's still just sometimes you just can't do it. You're just like chugging through the most simple things, and you don't understand why. You just can't depend on it.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think.
And I was reading online. I was like, I wonder if what traveling is like with this. Like, could I be on a plane with Wi-Fi and it turns on my PlayStation 5 at home and let me play games? Like, I wonder what that's like. I haven't been able to test that yet, but I was reading Reddit threads of people saying, I'm abroad in Japan right now. My PlayStation 5's at home in the US and I'm playing games and it's running perfect. So I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it's just, again, it's just dependent on your internet situation. If you have decent, good, reliable internet, this might be a nice way to play PlayStation games, not just in bed, but maybe traveling, as long as you have reliable Wi-Fi.
I also do want to say you could do this on the PlayStation Vita if we all want to issue a formal apology to that device.
But overall, I'm really enjoying it. My Steam Deck runs better and more reliably, but this thing's really comfy, nice, and light, and I gotta say I give it points for just being the lightest, comfiest handheld I own. And it really makes you realize, having all these new options, how much it sucks to hold a Switch. The Switch is so uncomfortable. It's insane.
How much is the portal, by the way, the PP?
$200 USD. Never mind. Everything's always in USD. I don't know why I assumed they'd tell me Canadian right off the bat. Everyone's suggesting use LAN instead of internet on this Reddit thread I'm looking at right now. So I'm doing it wrong.
But I still think they might be talking about plugging it into the console.
That seems everybody, I have some thoughts on this.
Dumb.
Oh, okay. This guy's here.
Ben!
Jump in. Look, I haven't been watching this show live, but you're talking about the PlayStation Portal, right?
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to your conundrum, but can I complain about this frickin' thing for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, I'll boost my own audio. The wonderful Reichert family, Dan and Bonk over there, they let me borrow one, and I brought it on a trip because I wanted to play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth when going out to LA. And so I got the PlayStation Portal, got to the hotel, booted it up. You cannot play it in a hotel because you can't access the guest Wi-Fi. There's no like browser or no interface. So any place where you have to like log into guest Wi-Fi, like a coffee shop or anything, PlayStation Portal, unusable. Like, can you imagine shipping this thing? Also, it's been out for months and months, and they haven't patched in the ability just to let you like log into guest Wi-Fi. Like the Switch even does that. The freaking Switch, everybody, come on.
The freaking PSP had that.
Yes, it's outrageous. And
the original.
I feel like a schlub bringing this stupid Portal all the way over there, and then I just got to look at it. Like, just there's nothing on it. That said, I'm kind of tempted to buy it so I can sit in my bed and play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comfortably, but I'm not going to because I'm so outraged about that hotel Wi-Fi situation.
Oh,
yeah, there's moral principles to keep in mind here. I tried to boot up my PS5 and it said I had to update my controller, which it always tells me, normal world, you got to update your controller. And then it said, but it's too low battery. So sit here and charge it and then you can update it and then you can play it. Until then, you have to sit at this menu with your PlayStation 5.
Ridiculous.
Leo, no, you wouldn't be convicted by a jury in the world if you just took your controller and just put it in a blender at that point and just let her rip.
Right, but there'd definitely be a trial though.
Oh, it would be publicized. It'd be the new OJ trial. There's no doubt.
They try to make me into a statistic, but I wouldn't have it.
All right, I'll let you guys have fun. I'm gonna get going.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
That's super stupid.
That's a good gripe.
Though.
That's a notable gripe.
That's a notable gripe. Also, Crater was saying to me that they don't allow you to connect to Bluetooth headphones because they want you to use their proprietary ones, which also super sucks.
That's ass. I'm so glad the Steam Deck lets you use Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, like that's.
I brought my nice ones on a long ass trip. I normally use AirPods, but it was so long. It's like, why don't I bring my headphones I use on my home computer that have like 13 hours of battery life?
Oh yeah.
It was effortless, and I was so glad I did it. And they're so much more comfortable than having AirPods in the whole time. Oh, I was so happy. I was a happy little
100%.
camper.
This was just a clip from our Patreon exclusive podcast called Bonus Pod. If you support MinnMax on Patreon at the $5 tier, you unlock Bonus Pod each and every week. Haley McLean is joined by cohorts to talk about whatever they want. It's kind of the sister show, the companion show to the MinnMax Show podcast. So there's even more content in here. Also, we take calls from members of the community, and we can really dive into the weeds on stuff. So if you want to more than double the amount of podcasts from MinnMax every week, support MinnMax on Patreon at the $5 tier. Thanks so much.